It's a soggy morning out here. We've had some rain the last couple of days. But I'm out here this morning getting a firewood delivery ready for a repeat customer. He messaged me a couple weeks ago saying he was getting to the point where he was going to need some more wood for his bonfire. And he said, in a couple weeks time, can you bring me over a load? So originally I set this aside for him, but I stupidly forgot to put a tarp on it, and it got rained on. So took some dry stuff out of the shed and fill in the back of the pickup, and then I'm going to throw a little bit more on the trailer as well. So he's buying 2 face cords worth. And it's good because I'm trying to make room in the shed anyway, because all that wood I've been splitting the last couple weekends is starting to pile up. I actually got quite a pile here of ash. That's all ash. And I'm going to let this sit outside. I'm not going to stack it in the shed for probably a couple of months. This is kind of how I like to pre-dry. Just leave it in a stack and sort of peel off of it as it bakes throughout the summer and gets dry, and throw it in the shed. So, but yeah, pretty good pile there. And then one of the next steps is going to be to finally kind of start tackling some of these large rounds and big logs. I got all this oak back here that's been sitting here for quite a while. Needs to be gone through and taken care of, so that'll be one of the next things. But yeah, the garden is doing well. Lots of little seedlings and sprouts. Watering system with my water tank back there has been working great. Just gravity feeding water. Also, finally, the other day, I dug out the old honeysuckle stump that was over here. Finally got that dug out of the ground, and I planted my little white oak, my swamp white oak that I got for free from the power company. Planted that in there, put some mulch around it, put a little cage on it. That's just a temporary little cage. I'm going to make a much better one here at some point. And then we've got the apple tree planted over here, kind of in the vicinity of all these other little crab apples and things that I've got over here. Figured it would make it easy for pollination purposes to have the apple trees mostly next to each other. This one is a State Fair apple. I actually got this at Costco. They were having a sale for really good price for these, under $30. But as I look at this area more, there's this elm tree you can see here. Big, this elm tree is kind of hanging over top of a couple of these crab apples. Kind of like to get that out of the way, because also there's a nice little basswood growing next to it that I'd like to promote to grow up. So that elm tree might be coming out at some point here. And then the other brush clearing project will be continuing buckthorn management in this section of woods over here. As I survey this more and more, there's just a lot of buckthorn in there that needs to go away, and I got this big burn pile sitting here that eventually will be lighting probably this winter. So buckthorn management in here, a little bit more brush cleanup over here in what I guess I'm going to call the orchard area. And then the other big development is I was able to take the old burn pile location here and scrape this. And so it's all scraped down and level. I took all the old junk ash, dirt, and vegetation and stuff that was on it, and I piled it over there, and then that'll be kind of a compost slash just miscellaneous dirt pile that maybe I'll screen at some point. But this is going to be where sort of the patio, fire pit, pergola area is going to be. And I'm waiting right now because I need to decide on what kind of pavers I'm going to use and kind of the pergola design a little bit. But we'll be getting going on this probably within the next couple of weeks, hopefully. But it was a big step to just get all that residue and debris and everything that was left over from the burn pile just finally scraped up and out of the way. Now we've got a nice level pad to start with, which I'm happy about. Because it'll be really nice. I'm kind of just picturing it in my head. You know, you've got your patio area, grill over here, pergola over here, fire pit, seating area, and then your garden is right there, you know, right next to it. So yeah, that should be pretty cool. And then the other project for this weekend is going to be just to continue mowing down some areas next to the driveway, some of the upland areas that are adjacent to the swamp over here. And for that, I borrowed this pull behind brush mower, which we'll be using for that. So yeah, gonna have another busy weekend, but hopefully get some stuff done.